everyone talks about how you shouldn't be smoking weed, right? Everyone talks about not smoking weed. No one talks about not drinking. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel for anyone who's returning, and welcome for anyone who is new. Today's video is gonna be pretty quick. I'm just gonna talk about me going on a sober journey and not drinking for 30 days. It's something that I've been wanting to do for a while. So I didn't even introduce myself. My name is Michelle. I try to make videos related to mental health, beauty, and just lifestyle overall. I've always wanted to document my life, and so that's why I started this channel, and I want to be as authentic as I can be. So that's why I'm sharing this, is just to hopefully inspire someone else, or if anyone needs support along the way, if you're doing this as well, then I'm here. So I am really not good at being vulnerable, and I realized that in order to build healthy relationships with people, you have to be okay with being open about what you are going through. And it's something that I still struggle with to this day. But one thing that I also realized I wanted to work on is my consistency and my self-discipline. Anyone who's watching this, let me just tell you, I'm not really like good at being consistency. I never really had a structured routine or life growing up. And so now as an adult, trying to build that and fix the mistakes that I've made, it's a lot. But when I think about alcohol, I don't have a positive emotion with it, and that is for a number of reasons that I will share in the next clip. So for anyone who didn't know, my grandmother, she passed March 2020, right before COVID started, like right at the beginning. And my grandmother, she struggled with alcoholism, and my mother struggled with addiction. And so I definitely have addictive tendencies, and people in my family do as well. Not everyone, but I realized that a lot of adults have things that they're addicted to, but I know that people don't associate a lot of things as like being an addiction. And I feel like with alcohol, even though people know that, like, yes, people can be addicted and the negative effects that alcohol has on you, it's still something that is really pushed every day. And as someone who has struggled with depression, I used it as self-medication, and I think that a lot of people do. And I'm not here to judge anyone, because I feel like life happens and people change, and sometimes you don't want to, go through those feelings that were negative for you. But I think it's important for us to realize that when you do it, it's temporary. So when you're done getting drunk and you're throwing up or you're sick, like when I was in college, I used to drink like 4 to 5 days out of the week. I was not in therapy because I was too poor. I literally, my freshman year, first semester, I went to school with probably $150 left in my bank account, food stamps, and $200 that was given to me. And yeah, when I was younger, I didn't like alcohol, but but I was used to seeing it. Like, I come over to my grandmother's house. My grandmother used to throw like really big cookouts. She loved to cook for like big groups of people. So of course people would be there drunk, and I saw a lot as a kid that I didn't understand until I got older. But I also know that I've had my own experiences as an adult with alcohol where it really brought out the worst in me. So not to say that it had to be anything physical, but just everything I suppressed, it was just like, if I had some Henny, it's gonna come out. And I just find it interesting to think about behavior and alcohol as well. I'm a very shy person, right? I really don't like people perceiving me. I don't like to be like judged by people, but like it happens. And I think it's because I was bullied as a kid and I grew up really poor. So like a lot of people, especially Black people, like even though they may live, you know, in this area where it's like high crime or just a poor area where, you know, the jobs aren't as high paying for Black people, they will at least make sure that when their kids go to school, they look presentable. And I was going through a lot as a child, and my family, you know, is still living in a lot of poverty. And so what you see with a lot of people who are in these poor areas is you'll see a lot of drinking, or you'll see a lot of like drug use, because people kind of want to escape the everyday like reality that they're living. What I mean by escape the everyday reality that they live in, I'll just talk about my life personally. Me and my cousin, we were raised by my aunt, and she was in an apartment that she inherited from my uncle and his wife. So I grew up living in the same apartment from the time I was 3 months old until I was able to move at the beginning of COVID. So I really did not move until I was 24. And it's for a number of reasons, but I just want you to understand like the significance of like us not transitioning. Like there was no transition. And I understand that like in some places like New York, someone, you know, people may live in the same apartment. It's probably a larger family where it's pretty much like a home or like a condo. But I was in low income housing, so Section 8 housing. So you know that the living conditions were bad. So I had the original bath towel that I had my entire life. Like they never came to change it. They never made really repairs. Like it was so bad. And my aunt really wasn't able to be at a point where we could move away from that. And I think that when you think about the toll it can take on someone's mental health and them not even being able to express that, because I mean it just wasn't a thing in that time period for Black people, and it's still not, especially Black women, because we're just expected to be strong. We're supposed to hold everything together. We're the glue. We're supposed to sacrifice. And I think it's important that people talk about the correlation between being strong and being hurt mentally, physically, emotionally, and being abused in all those ways. and then expecting to just move forward. And I know for me, I'm trying not to cry, but yeah, alcohol was really all I had. So I want to change my relationship to alcohol, and I don't want it to be something that is always there. So I was crying because I have definitely struggled with just letting alcohol go for a long time, and I have been able to go months without it, but I know that I always go back. And one thing, and the main reason why I started YouTube, is because like I said, I really struggled with like the meaning of life, life's purpose, blah blah blah. I still am, but when I was younger, I was definitely on the edge. Idealized myself as an adult. Like, I never imagined on living this long, and sometimes I'm still mind blown, because I don't know, I also realized that like that's like what I centered relationships around as well. So it's like, even now, for a lot of people here, drinking is so social, right? Everyone talks about how you shouldn't be smoking weed, right? Everyone talks about not smoking weed. No one talks about not drinking. And I had saw this video on TikTok just talking about how too much drinking shrinks your brain. And I'm just like, when I think back to my big beautiful brain before I was like an alcoholic, definitely. But but no, really, all jokes aside, I think that I have always been kind of scared of what comes next for me when it comes to life. With my family, like, they see me as successful only because I went to college, but it's just like no one really gave me any tools to actually build any type of wealth to help the rest of our family members who are poor. And I understand that not everyone doesn't have the mindset to keep on fighting. And me, I'm still considered a person that is poor, quote unquote. And I just found it funny how the only goal is to just get really drunk and like just disassociate and forget all of our problems. It's so easy after experiencing a long period of abuse, like repeatedly, to just want to escape. And so when I found alcohol, it was like, wow, like I don't I don't have to be present to think about my pain. I don't have to be present to think about my trauma. But when I'm done drinking at the end of the night, sometimes I would literally just cry, like get drunk and cry. And it's like, I felt no better drinking. I probably felt worse, if anything. But I don't know, it's like I just created that could solve my problems. In my mind, that was what I said, was that if I just drink and not worry about things, like it'll work itself out. And it's like, this is not a movie. You really have to face reality. And so I haven't had a drink in like, I think 2 weeks since I went to brunch. I always use it as a tool. And also, I have health issues where if I was to drink like I used to, I would be dead. And right now I'm in a place of I look forward to every day, even though like I have crippling anxiety. I still want to be present, and I still want days where, I don't know, like I feel like people drink socially, it's their business, but when you see how people drink online versus having a conversation with them behind the scenes and knowing that, oh no, like they maybe had 3 more bottles, like you're still gonna be empty. And I know people who it could literally change their health if they were to stop drinking, but they don't do it because they don't want to open up those parts of themselves, those feelings of that loneliness, that emptiness that you have. And I'm not saying this is for everyone that drinks, because one thing about me is I love to go have some good food and have a nice drink with it. Like I do think that that's an experience, but I know deep down in the back of my mind, I know why I'm having a drink. And I also know that because I still struggle with self-discipline, I've been trying not to put myself in situations where I'm even offered a drink. So, because I always go over my limit. But for me, I know that I'm sometimes scared because when I have that first drink, I'm just like, alcohol. And everyone knows like that familiar burn that you get from alcohol in my brain. And because of my existing mental health issues, like I don't know a limit until it's too late. So it's like I could be like, yeah, I'm fine, and then 10 drinks later I'm like, I gotta throw up. So I just want to, for once, focus on myself. And I'm not talking about makeup, I'm not talking about clothes, but like my actual spirit, my brain, my like my mind, just my whole soul. I feel like I try to escape the things that I don't like. So like if I made a choice and I don't like the outcome of that choice, I'd rather not think about it. Or because of my anxiety, I'll make something this huge thing. Like it could be the end of the world and it's really not, but it's just like when you add in alcohol, I just think that for my overall well-being, I want to try. And what's significant about it is I started yesterday on March 15th. And so in a month, it'll be April 15th, which is my birthday. And I've been drinking. I haven't had one birthday where I was sober. And this will be my first if I make it through. But I will make it through. And if you are anyone who is struggling with any type of like addiction issue or coping mechanism that you feel like isn't healthy, then this is the place for you. I'm not sure how often I will upload. I'm thinking I will upload every Sunday morning, just vlogs of me talking about how I feel. So this is day 2. I did a lot of crying because I may show up for other people, but I always fail myself. So I hope that anyone who is watching joins me on this journey. I know it won't be easy, but I know it will be worth it. And I can't wait to see how I feel in 30 days. So, bye.